You can start.
Okay. Hello everyone and welcome back to the Future Talks conducted by Prayaana. Wait. Oh. So everyone, I hope you've had, I want to say a lovely wish you, but I know that isn't the case. We're all stuck at home, unable to go meet our friends and family. But the year has started off in a sad note, but let's hope it gets to a very happy and positive note as we go forward. Okay, so before I go into the session, let me just make a small introduction about Prayaana in case you don't already know about us. We are a unique employability, entrepreneurship, and innovative ecosystem for women, and we provide wholesome career support services from career counseling, training, mentoring, and recruitment services under one umbrella. This is Prayaana Collective. It's a venture of Prayaana. It's India's first women empowerment e-commerce platform. The platform is unique in the attribute that it provides a marketing model where all customers are given an opportunity for lifetime savings and earnings. Another aspect of it, it's a beautiful place to find authentic and handmade products by women. So don't forget to check us out at www.praco.com. Now, during the session, I'm pretty sure you'll have a lot of doubts, so feel free to leave it in the chat box below. Now, let's go into the session. The session is conducted by Ms. Reshmi Rajesh, and she's going to take a session about the importance of life skills for children. So, before I tell you a little bit about the session, let's just have an introduction about Mrs. Reshmi Rajesh. She is the founder of the Circle of Life. So, and obviously, hence, she works at the Circle of Life Skills. She was a former consultant at Earnest. She has, taught as an English teacher at Tatva School, Pearson's, Bangalore. All this, you kind of understand like, what I'm getting at. That she's very well equipped to take this session. She's going to have a lot of wonderful things to speak to you about. Now, regarding life skills, we all know how our school has always been knowledge intensive. Neither has it really taken up, practical initiative. And this kind of makes you unequipped to deal with life as you go up, when you go to college and then you go to, your work. And without life skills, you do not become a whole person. You do not know how to respond to a situation, how to really communicate all this knowledge which you have, you put together. So unless you can communicate, understand the situation, make the right responses, you do not become a complete person and you never find success in life. So Mrs. Reshmi Rajesh is here to do just that. Over to you, ma'am.
Thank you so much, Chelsea. I hope I'm audible. Am I audible? Can somebody?
Hello, Mami, are you audible?
Hello, ma'am.
Thank you so much. So, good evening, everybody. Whoever here is here today on the call, on the YouTube channel. Thank you so much, Prayaana, for giving me this opportunity to go ahead and discuss the importance of life skills. This is something that I'm really, what should I say? It kind of, it motivates me to do what I do on a daily basis. And I would also like to thank Chelsea for giving that amazing introduction. Thank you, Chelsea. It was lovely listening to you. And let's go ahead and start session. We don't have much time, if I may say so. So let's begin with a brief introduction of mine as well. Chelsea has given a beautiful introduction, but here's something more that I would like to add. I'm a professionally qualified social worker and I specialize in child welfare. I I'm passionate about child psychology and how humans think, learn, and behave. And also, learning disability in children is my forte. I have corporate learning development. I've been a corporate learning development professional for 16 years. So that's exactly what Chelsea also spoke about. And I'm a mindfulness practitioner, an avid reader. I just absolutely love traveling and meeting people and children. And I'm a very keen observer of patient child behavior patterns. So that's where I think I kind of moved on from the corporate to start something of my own, which I believe in and I'm passionate about. So, what's the agenda for today? Let's take a look at that. So, we're going to see a brief introduction to life skills. So, for people who have heard the terminology, might not know what exactly it's all about, we'll just take a look at what is life skills. We'll also see why of the life skills and why it has suddenly become important, and how is it different from your usual moral science lessons that you used to get when you were in schools. We'll also take a look at what are those World Health Organization's list of life skills, which is extremely important today. We'll take a look at who is this iGen and Gen Alpha, right? And why is it important for them to learn about life skills? And we'll also take a brief look at what is your role as a parent in imparting these life skills and why it is going to be the future of, what shall I say, bringing children up. Right? So now we have COVID, we have a situation where the children are cooped up in homes, and we know that there is a lot of behavioral issues or new discoveries. Not, I would not say it's a behavioral issue, but new discoveries about your children that you're making on a daily basis. So now that's the opportunity to be with your child, see your child on close quarters for more than, rather, all 24 hours a day, from the time they would have left, to school at 3.5. I'm sure you wouldn't have had so many days together um, with your children, literally monitoring or seeing every little bit of what they are doing, right? So this is where it becomes extremely important, and this is where your role as a parent in imparting these life skills become very important. So let's go ahead to the next session. What is life skills? In simple terms, it's just needed to fully participate in life. So is it cute? Well, that's what you get when you go to school, right? You learn something new, you learn about GK, you learn about the history of country, you learn about math, you learn about science, English, you name it, you have it. What is important? And what's this EQ, SQ, AQ, and other Qs? About emotional quotient, social quotient, aptitude and attitude quotient, and then many other quotients, which is a different topic altogether, if I may say so. What's more important, IQ or quotients? And what is it? What is success going to be very soon? How are you going to define success? Let me share you a very simple story. And this is a true story. You may want to kind of try to figure out who this person is. Let me just go ahead and share the story with you. So I have a very close friend of mine who studied with me in the school, and trust me, he had a difficult childhood at school. He had a lot of behavioral issues. He wouldn't gel well with people. He wouldn't, forget about gelling well. I think he kind of picked up fights with everybody. He was bullied a lot at school, in fact, because he was a new child, new student in the class. So obviously, there is a bullying pattern that would happen with any new child that comes. Don't we do ragging as well in colleges, right? So having said that, now what happened here with this child is that he was also not very good at studies. Well, okay. So in the 8th standard, when he joined our school, fortunately or unfortunately, I would say, he became very close friend of ours. So I have two younger brothers, and we three used to walk up to the school and back. And this guy also came along with us. Well, I guess in a way, it turned out good for him because we were the only people who accepted him the way he was. Now look at this. He used to be mid
Hello, ma'am. Can you hear me? Your audio seems to be disconnected. Ma'am, there seems to be a slight technical issue. We'll just sort it out. Please stay tuned.
daily basis. And of course, I would also like to thank
Hello, ma'am. We seem to have another issue. You seem to have muted your mic again. Could you please try? Can you hear me? Hello? Hello, ma'am. You seem to have muted your mic.
Chelsea.
Yeah, I can hear you now. Hello,
Yes, you
ma'am.
can hear me now? Okay.
Yeah, I can hear you
Yeah,
now.
can you hear me now? All right.
Yes.
Maybe some internet issues.
Yeah,
I'm sorry
connectivity
about
issue.
that.
That's
I'm also learning disability, learning development for my own.
Hello, ma'am.
Okay.
In case you have a PPT to present,
Um,
don't forget to share your screen, okay? Okay.
Okay. I'll take a look at it. And how
Just select your PPT, okay?
Yeah. And where did you lose me out?
You're in the middle of your story.
Ah, okay. Thank you. So can you hear me now?
Yes, I can hear you.
All right, wonderful. Am I on?
You're on, but then like you're showing the wrong thing. You have to show your PPT. Please select your PPT for that.
I have selected the PPT.
But then that's not what I can see.
Okay, hold on.
Just go. Stop share.
Stop share.
And then take share screen again, and then go select your PPT. Or just select your PPT, make it a tab, and then just select it afterwards.
Just let me know if you can. Can you see it now?
No, I can't.
Okay, hold on.
Yeah, I can see it now.
Okay, wonderful. Thank you so much. Right. Sorry about that, people. If you've logged in, if you're looking at the screen, extremely apologize for the little technical issue that we had over there. So I was, Chelsea told me that we were with the story, right? And I'm not sure how far you've heard, but well, so this boy who seemed to be not a person who adjusted very well with the school and who was not performing very well. Guess what? Where he is today? He is a director with one of the most famous, governmental organizations within India today. He has 3 PhDs in his name. And guess what about this little boy who used to be a rank holder? Unfortunately, he is today in Tihar jail for, well, a murder crime, right? So then, what does this actually show? What does this actually show? This shows that IQ definitely is not the main criteria of how you would define success, which also means that building relationships, how do you come out of conflicting situations? What is grit and resilience of going ahead and doing a particular task, right? Now, all these are essential everyday life skills. And it's not just with getting the maximum number of marks, getting the best job, getting into an IIT or an IIM, or becoming an engineer or a doctor. So that is where life skills becomes very, very important. So let's take a look at where do I use these life skills. Let's take a look at whether you, as a participant over here, whether you can identify these life skills and how much of this is actually used by you. Let's take a list before we see this. And well, where do I use these skills? Trust me when I tell you, you use it everywhere and every day, every minute of your life. How many life skills do I have?
Hello, ma'am. Sorry to intervene, but could you just make this full screen, the PPT?
Is it not on full screen? It is on full screen.
It's not on full screen. Or just select present.
Okay, hold it. Is this on full screen now?
It isn't.
But I see it as a full screen here.
Okay, ma'am. Just select the current slide. Just select the first slide.
Do you see this now?
No, ma'am. Just start, pressing go upward and select the first slide from your right. From your left, sorry, from your left.
Which is what I have done.
No, ma'am. Like in the, you want to see a slide sound numbered as 4, 5, 6. Just select the first slide from that.
Hold on.
Okay.
So what do you see on the screen now?
Right now I can't see it.
Do you see this now?
And now click slideshow at the top. Next to animations, yeah. At the top.
I've done that.
Just click on the slideshow.
I have done that, and I'm saying beginning.
Okay, but then this isn't the full. Okay, it's better now.
Is a scene now.
Yes, see. Yes. Ma'am, you could select slideshow. Like it's right next to animation. Could you do that?
I have done that.
No, ma'am, you haven't selected it. See, it's not selected. Could you just click on it? And just click on it, the slideshow.
It's a scene now.
No, ma'am. Ma'am, I mean, like, can't you see written home in design transitions. There's a slideshow written over there. Could you select that?
I know I have. Yes. Hold on. Hold on.
Yeah.
So
Okay.
I'm not sure why it's not. Okay. So can you hear me now?
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. Right. So let me just go ahead and share once again. Do you still see it as a different version?
I can't see anything right now. Okay, now select your slide.
Is this okay?
You haven't selected.
I have selected. So what do you see now, Chelsea?
Like I see a green screen. Doesn't seem like it's selecting the slide.
Okay. You see this now? Like this?
Ma'am, you should select new slide share, new share content.
Let me know.
Yes. Okay. I can see that.
You can see that now?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Right. Once again, apologies, all people. Right. Okay. So you're all set. So with the story. Okay. So it's a story time now. And so we had this person, as I said earlier, who was a student who had a lot of issues, not very good at studies, was made to sit with a very good student, a first rank holder. Well, this person, he went on to do 3 PhDs in agriculture, and the other person landed in, well, in Tihar jail He still uh, is there in the Har jail. He was convicted for the murder of a girl. And why? So the question arose as to why. What actually then differentiates success? And this is just an extreme case. I'm not saying that this would happen to any child, but what I'm trying to drive here is that when you take a look at both these people and what they did with their skills, it is very clear. So this person, this friend of mine, he was extremely good at communicating with people. He had great conflict management skills. He had amazing negotiation skills. He could hold conversations with people. He knew how to fight back with, if there was a bully who came in front of him. And he definitely knew what was more important in terms of, maybe walking down the road or crossing the road and things like that, and even being very independent with the way he is. Whereas this other person who landed himself in the jail, he had extremely poor communication skills. He didn't know how to keep relationships. He didn't know how to approach people with relationships. All he knew was how to study and how to deliver a session. That's all that he could do. Now, this is where life skills, especially now, and this is something that I'm speaking about, say, 30 years back, right? But especially now with children who are in the I generation, which is nothing but your iPhone generation or phone generation. Children who are going to come in future generations, which is called Generation Alpha from 2013. Children who are born after 2013 will be called the Gen Alpha, right? Now, what about these children? What kind of learnings are they picking up about life at school? Do we have people at home who can actually impart these education to them, give them lessons on, or correct them when they are not displaying the right skill? So let's take a look at where do I use these skills. This is where I think we stopped. And I said that we use these skills everywhere, every day, every minute of the time. So let's take a look at these skill sets or skills, which are actually a long list, but I have kind of made it into a very short but long one. So let's take a look at that one. How many life skills do I have? Can you identify from the list of skills that I'm going to give you here now? How many do you actually know or you feel that you have mastered them? So let's take a look at this. Do you communicate well, both written and spoken? Do you understand yourself, values, emotional intelligence? Where do you stand with your emotional intelligence? Are you a person who respects people a lot? How great are you with working in teams? How do you keep and maintain social relationships with your relatives, with your parents, with your friends, with the school authorities, with people whom you generally meet up with? What are those housekeeping skills that you have? Do you or are you a great money manager? How many of you can really repair many things at home by yourselves? Do you calendarize yourself and do you work on schedules? How comfortable are you using technology? COVID was an emergency. Were you really, really prepared for it? What are the basic first aid? How can I read a map? So we know we have a GPS, but even that, how do I navigate with a GPS? What about the self-care? Do I get enough sleep? What about my hygiene? Do I exercise? Do I take a look at what I eat? Have I ever tried to find out where happiness lies and how to attain it? Do I have research skills? Well, can I manage a work life balance? Do I have amazing negotiation skills? Can I negotiate with my mother in law, with my husband, with my kids, with somebody at work, with my boss, with my subordinate, everywhere? Do I have the ability to accept compliments? So if somebody tells you that, hey, you know what, you're looking great today, do you go ahead and say, thank you, that's a wonderful observation? Or do you go ahead and say, well, it's just a dress, or, well, I know you're just trying to make me happy? Are you open to criticism? Really? Well, do you also do a lot of critical thinking? And are you extremely good at problem solving? Do you have attention to detail? Like, for example, if I were to swipe the floor, do I really go to every corner or do I just go ahead and swipe just somewhere in the center and move on? Do I really synthesize information the way it should? Now, how how do I understand whether I'm synthesizing the information? Is how less of conflict do I have when people are around me? Expressing gratitude. Do I value and express love? Do I value and express respect? What are my basic civic responsibilities and do I exercise them? What is proactive behavior? Am I a person who is very proactive? Do I manage myself and manage my time? Now, I'm just giving you some of the lists or some of the life skills that you should have. And this list does not end here. Trust me. If you were to take a real look at yourself, you would understand that yes, I do have some certain level of expertise in some I'm okay, some I'm mediocre, some average, some maybe I need to work on some more, right? So where do we have these opportunities for us to actually learn these skills? And I would say at home and nowhere else, unfortunately. So why life skills are suddenly thrown into the picture now and why is it becoming important and why are we not hearing yet in India a lot about life skills? So now you may think, well, I learned it the hard way, most of them, like conflict management maybe or negotiation skills. Well, it was part of my job, so I learned it when I was an adult. Well, I knew how to take care of bullying, so I learned it the hard way. And you may ask, does my child really need sessions on life skills? Well, here's why. And this is another story. Now, as a part of being, as a part of learning and development team, I have conducted several sessions on interviewing skills for managers and senior managers, and even higher ups. And I've also sat along with them to attend or conduct certain interviews. And trust me when I tell you this, it is definitely a very, very sad story. And here's how it is proven. Unemployability, it's actually a bigger problem than unemployment itself. And the intriguing fact is that more than 50 lakh students graduate per year. Very few are still fit to be employed. More than 50% of Indian graduates lack basic employability skills. And when I say basic employability skills, it is not the marks that you have earned in your engineering or in your MBA. When I sit for an interview, I'm looking at how well can this person articulate himself. When I'm looking at a person and speaking to him or her, and I ask certain behavioral based questions, I'm trying to figure out, has this person ever managed conflict effectively? When I try to sit and interview a person, I'm trying to look at can this person actually negotiate? For example, the question that we ask is, what do you expect as a pay scale for this kind of job that you're applying for? And the person either really undersells himself or oversells himself. So where is the middle part? Has this person actually researched about this organization before he came to the interview? Well, sad story. Most of them don't. The resume, forget about all this. The resume is filled with spelling errors, grammatical errors from real big stalwarts like MBA 98%, 99%, 80%, engineering graduates who are 80%, 85%, but they can't write. And unfortunately, when you are working in an organization, these skills are paramount today. I know for a fact that if I were to have one person who is extremely skilled at what he does, and another person who is extremely skilled at what he does, but is also a great communicator, works great well with team, has amazing client relationships, then whom would I promote? Somebody who has been working year on giving 100%, or somebody who's got that little bit extra? So this, my dear friends, is where life skills, unfortunately or fortunately, becomes very, very important. And definitely, as I said, it's all about soft skills. In fact, 5 of the key skills for future employment, now this is very important, involve the use of key human skills. And it's got nothing, I'm telling you again, it's got nothing to do with the technical skills. Mental elasticity, complex problem solving, critical thinking, creative thinking, people skills, which include communication skills, building relationships, working in teams, empathy, negotiation skills, and interdisciplinary knowledge, which means that I am not just a master of what I know, I also have the ability to learn something new and connect the dots between what I know with what I know and what I can, maybe give an insight to. Just take a look at this 15 fastest growing occupations. And this particular information is from Trade Schools Net. You may want to take a look at it because this is not just the 15. They have listed 40 fastest growing occupations. They've just given us the top 15. Take a look at this. Solar energy technicians. Well, tell me about it. Wind energy technicians. So why are we learning, or why are we pushing our children to learn engineering? And why are we not able to guide them that this is the future of energy, right? Home health aides. Take a look at that. Personal care aides, occupational therapy, information security analysis, which is again very technical. Physician assistants, statisticians, nurse practitioners, speech language. Now, if you take a look at all of this, most of them, apart from the technical skill or knowledge that they would have, they need a lot of people skills. So, is your child prepared with these skills while he is growing up? And thus, you pave his way for success. So, whose life skill list, which is nothing but your WHO, World Health Organization? Let's take a look at it. The World Health Organization in 1999, and mind you, this is in 1999. This is 2020 already. We've lost 20 years already. And they have identified the following core cross-cultural areas of life skills. And UNICEF listed similar skills very recently in a 2012 report. Let's take a look at it. Very simple. Decision making, problem solving is the same, what we use at work, and that we can teach at home as well. Creative thinking, critical thinking, communication and interpersonal skills, self-awareness and empathy, assertiveness and equanimity, resilience and coping with emotions and coping with stress. So there you are. It's almost the same that we have seen in the previous slides as well. And here's the best part. The life skills curriculum is designed for school children from grade 1 to grade 12 by WHO already. And if you were to just Google it, NCRT, which is our Indian learning platform that decides how India and the youth learn, well, they also should follow WHO guidelines about life skills. We have life skill books and sessions that the schools are supposed to conduct. Unfortunately for us, as parents, many of us are not aware of this, and we never know. One of the reasons why we never know is because the teachers or the principal or the school authorities, well, they don't have the bandwidth to conduct these sessions. And these sessions are not easy to conduct. And if I were to ask you, would you really open up about issues about your home, about what your fear is, what you would like to take care of with your teacher in a group? No. So that's the reason why, unfortunately, life skills is still not a part or a curriculum part, though it has been designed and there are books available and there are umpteen data and information available on the same. So these sessions, they actually emphasize communications and practical skills needed for successful independent living. And they also address in many ways developmental disabilities, learning disabilities, special education students. So who is this iGen and Gen Alpha? So let's take a look at where you stand with regards to this generations. Here we go. So where are you now? So we have traditionalists born before 1900 and 1945. Well, they are my grandparents. And then you have the boomers, which is my parents, born between 1946 and 1964. Somewhere, well, I am part of Gen X because I was born in 1975. And then you have the Xennials, which is kind of in between Gen X and the millennial. They are the confused lot because they were right there in the middle of the computer revolution, and then there was the traditional bit as well. And this little period of zennials is very, very fast. Mobile phones and internet are just 30 years old. So you can imagine this is not a very long period of time. Then we have the millennials who are born between 1977 and 1997. Some of us would fall under the millennials as well. We're kind of a little savvy with the technology. We know a little bit, but you take a look at this. The millennials have a huge gap with the Gen X and even the baby boomers. So we still have baby boomers over here, and then we have millennials. So there are two generations of gap in some families as well. In fact, most of families. And we don't connect with this millennial and boomers a lot because, well, we are living independently now. So this is also called the Gen Y. And then after 1997, we have the Gen 2020, which is the Gen Z, Gen iGen, and Gen Alpha. And anybody who was born after 1997, because 2000, if I were to be very precise, 2000 was the time when 1999, 2000 was a time when the mobile phones actually started hitting the Indian markets, and they got used to the mobile and internet technology. So they're pretty fast, very fast. When this generation of 1997 and 2000 people, when they are coming into workforce now, is when we realize that they actually lack a lot of life skills. Millennials by themselves are lacking a lot of life skills. Forget about the Gen 2020. And now the millennial parents, they don't have time, unfortunately, for children. They are double income, either no children or double income, two children families or a single child family. And they don't have the resources to fall back on. They don't have maybe their grandparents living with them who can take care of them. We have to leave our children at the creche most often when both of us are working. We really don't have the time to listen to what our children have to say. Even if we do, are we doing the right listening? Are we really talking to them consciously? How well are we communicating with them? Do I really understand what they are going through, or do I go back to my past and say, hey, you know what? When I was growing up, we didn't have these issues. Why are you coming up with these issues? So there are a lot of issues that children are facing at this point in time, and so are parents, right? So let's take a look at why life skills programs are offered. And they're offered because traditional family structures have actually broken down in India as well. And healthy relationships between parents, between the husband and the wife, parents and children, extended family, they are all breaking down some way or the other. Whatever little that we are connected with, we are we really keeping up with them? Are we really connecting with them in the real sense and meaning of connection? So this can be due to, well, again, various reasons, right? There can be parental lapses. We are not trained to become parents, essentially. So then some people ask me, well, my parent, when he or she was born, nobody gave them a parenting session. But we also forget that at that time, they used to have many brothers and sisters. So essentially what would happen is the elder one would take care of the younger one, the next one would take care of the next one, and then somehow they learn what is parenting. They know inherently what works and what does not work. Unfortunately for us, we do not have that facility or ability, or maybe opportunity, I would say so. The divorce rates are going high. Remarriages are happening. There's nothing wrong with it. However, how are we dealing with it? Are we really thinking from the children's perspective as to how is it getting are they getting affected? Are we having serious conversations with them? Are we taking their thoughts and emotions into consideration as well, and other associated issues with it? Psychological disorders, unfortunately, are on the rise. Uh, in fact, I work with my aunt here in Kottayam as well with learning disability and ADD, ADHD children, and we have seen cases where most of the psychologists, we are not decrying them, but most of the psychologists, they do make the right assessment that the child has an ADD or an ADHD issue. Having said that, the underlying cause is not an inherent cause. It is primarily due to bad parenting or no support at home when the children are growing up. We're also seeing a lot of rise in substance abuse and other risky behavior. Children are definitely getting into getting sexual very early in the age, which is okay as long as they're aware of where to draw the line, right? And most often we don't have these conversations with our children because our parents never did. And we are also seeing a lot of issues with a rise in anxiety disorders and depression too with children. Excessive social media is good. I will never ever say that social media is not good. It's a boon in many ways, but there is another side to it as well. Excessive social media, easy and fast technology availability, all these are decreasing the attention span of children, which is highly detrimental in how children learn. And when children don't learn, we push our children. We push and prod our children. Why are you not learning? The teachers, they can't help either. And in some cases, in some really rare cases, we have found that there are no underlying causes that the child is born with some of these disorders, right? And maybe it can be genetic, we don't know. Or it could be kind of statements that they've heard as they were growing up, or what kind of behavior and how they have perceived certain behavior when they were growing up. So all these could be reasons why a child will have difficulty in the future. So my question here is, are we preparing our children for a better success in life? So what is your role? What can you do as a parent? Parenting a venue is actually a venue of life skills nourishment. And I will never, trust me, and I will never ever say that it is a teacher's job or that is a society who teaches what life skills is all about. It is definitely responsibility and accountability of a parent. Parenting itself is being considered as a life skill today. So attend any session which will help you to help your child. So there are sessions that are happening on parenting. If you take a look at some of the videos that are available or some online courses, please do go ahead and listen to them. Having said that, there is a downhill to that as well. Read up, but please understand each child is different. Get an expert to help you help your child. So I personally believe, and in the way we work with children and parents, we always say that the parent has to change. The parent has lived with certain characteristics, certain communication styles, certain ways of dealing, certain statements. And until and unless the parent decides to change, you cannot expect the child to change. So please get expert help to help you to help your child. And now, with the iGen and Gen Alpha, we definitely need to cater to their learning styles, which are way different from ours and our parents. That's the reason why we also tell you how will it help them. How does life skills sessions when the children attend, externally when they attend, how does it help them? Here's how. Now, children, they will open up. So when we have these life skill sessions, and from what I have seen, they actually open up about issues when a safe space is provided for them during the session. So we create that kind of an atmosphere where you have similar aged children. For example, if it is from 9 to 11 years, we'll only take 3 at a time, 9, 10, 11. So they have similar issues. 12, 13, 14, it's a different ball of game altogether. 15, 16, 17, so it's 3 years, right? There's a growth spurt. In child psychology, we say that every 3 years, there's a growth spurt for the child, right? So based on that, we say that, okay, 9, 10, 11 children will undergo a life skill session. So when we do that, we create a specific safe space for them. We give certain statements and we tell them that this is a safe space where you can discuss about anything. And we are here not to answer you, we are here to find answers with you. And that's how these sessions start. These sessions are very non-judgmental, and unbiased answers are found together. So if a child, for example, god forbid, I mean, I'm okay, I'm very open about, I'm very inclusive about gender issues, I'm fine. But maybe a family is not. or a parent is not. Now, this child who comes in to the session may ask a question, ma'am, what does it mean to be homosexual? Am I a homosexual? Now, in this case, if I am the facilitator, I cannot have my bias, my judgment color the answer that I give. And that is why a life skills session by itself becomes a very external thing. And we request to parents not to go into the psychological aspect of life skills at all when you're dealing with your child. And that is why it is done separately. And when we do these sessions, when children find their answers through discussions, through drama, through role plays, through a lot of other mediums, the learning retention becomes higher. Because remember, I told you, iGen and Gen Alpha, they have very, very short attention span. They also understand that my problem is not just mine, and that others have similar or same problems too. So that in itself becomes a very easy thing for them to connect to. They realize that, hey, you know what, I'm not alone. And I also learn, or the children also learn from each other's experience, how when people share their stories and how they have overcome it or what they have faced, they realize, hey, you know what, maybe I will also go through the same emotions, and now I know how to deal with it. They learn to create better relationships. They improve the communication skills, because this is all about discussion. This is all about drama. This is all about role plays. So here's an amazing way of improving the actual communication skills that you really need to connect to people. I know for a fact that storytelling and public speaking are skills that children need to learn, but they are secondary skills. What if I can't communicate normally to my parent or to my friend or to somebody who is outside? And if I don't understand what they're trying to say? Now that is the skill that you also need at work. It is not public. Everybody does not stand there and start doing a public speaking at work, right? And everybody does not start telling a story at work. When it comes to work, what matters is basic communication skills, listening skills, empathy skills, assertiveness, the control on language, the control on emotions. Can I turn the fear I have as a child to, I trust this entire process? I trust my parents. From fear, can I go to trust, right? And the facilitator also looks for alarm bells when these sessions are happening. And we can help you as parents, which you might not see and you don't see and you might not accept. And we can also help you suggest positive development versus behavior prevention. So we will not give you, oh, your child is and looks like an ADD, and so let's do some behavior prevention. No. What we will do is we will do a positive development. So these kind of sessions will reinforce the right behavior in the sessions itself. So life skill sessions, as I told you, they're designed by stalwarts, by psychologists, by trained facilitators as group therapy sessions. It's a group psychotherapy where children learn skills listed by WHO in the following ways: guided group discussions, role plays, drama, visual art, and others. Case studies. So we also have case studies which they read through, find solutions for, and then discuss. They do also a lot of research. We might give them certain assignments where they'll have to go and research on a particular topic and come and discuss. There are some certain simple self-assessments. For example, how self-aware am I about myself? What are my strengths and weaknesses? What are my value systems? What is my belief system? So these kind of self-assessments are also given, which will help them realize who they are. And we need to do this a little faster because the world has become so fast now. And if we don't bring these children up to the level of what they can perform at work, well, remember I told you in an interview, when I interview people, I would just go ahead and reject the person. So my child attended a life skill session. So if your child has attended a life skill session, and if you think that, yes, I want my child to attend a life skill session, what should I do now? Well, we will tell you the expected behavior of the child. that they will either or may display post the session. So supposing we say that, hey, you know what, you need to be assertive when you speak, and these are the assertive phrases you would use when you are speaking to your parent. Why are you getting angry with your parent, right? Let's use an assertive language. So we will teach them a script which they will use. Now, if I were to tell you that when your child is going to speak in this particular script, then you need to behave or you need to respond in an assertive manner. At that point in time, you can't say, hey, you know what? Till yesterday, you were speaking in a different way. Why are you speaking today like this? Now, when you do that, the child will lose steam to actually continue the behavior. And that's going to be detrimental for the child. So we will tell you the expected behavior of the child that they might display or they will display post a session. We will also teach you how to identify this expected behavior. We will also teach you how to reinforce the right behavior and help child change himself or herself. And trust me when I tell you this, no life skill session is complete without you. You may not be a part of the session, but you have all the freedom and all the power to go ahead and reinforce the right behavior and the right attitude with your children. So Circle of Life Workshops aims at, well, transform together. So that's our tagline and that's the symbol. So we believe that a transformation happens not just with the child, we transform through the parents. So the parent transforms and the child transforms along with the parent. Thank you so much for your time. That's it from me. It was great having a conversation with you. If you have any questions, if Chelsea has got some questions, you may ask them now.
Yeah, ma'am, sure. We have a few queries. One
Mhm.
thing I found interesting was, like, we are in a lockdown period, and there are still a few more weeks where the kids are going to be there at home, stuck with the parents. Is there an
Yes,
activity you would
yes.
suggest at this time?
Um, Book reading is an amazing activity, and this should not be done by children. Please. So don't go ahead and give a child a book and say, go sit and read, right? You have to read with your child. So until and unless you display the behavior of reading, the child hears something in your tone, in your voice, the child will not pick up a liking for books. Book reading is an amazing, amazing task that you can do. A lot of issues with regards to learning, happen while you're reading books. So please, please, please do that, right? It's a simple thing that you can do. Create games. Why do we have to wait for buying Ludo and Snake and Ladder and all this stuff? You have chart papers, you have colors, you have buttons, you have dal, you have rice, you have so many things that you can play with. You really don't need a toy to play with, right? So use all those to bring a lot of learning for your children. Please, please, please introduce the kitchen to the child. That's the best place where they can learn a lot about division, multiplication, addition, subtraction. We have 15 idlis. We are three. How many will each get? Why do we have division? We can do it right in the kitchen itself. What happens if I add turmeric to the curry? Right? So that's chemistry for you. Cutting vegetables in equal sizes. That's all about attention to detail. So kitchen, please open it up for the children. You cook along with your children. Tell them the process of, talk through to them about the process of cooking. You don't have to engage your child in any other way. Just include them with your daily activities. Trust me, it's a beautiful, beautiful journey. Any other question?
And no other questions, ma'am. Thank you so much for the session. It was a really wonderful session.
Thank you, Chelsea.
Thank you.
And thank you, everybody. Have a great day. Goodbye.
So with that, folks, we come to the end of this session. So I put up a post of tomorrow's session, which is remote working, smart practices to stay productive. I think that's a wonderful section to have at this point in time. I mean, we're all bored and we're not at all being productive. Not the way we can be. So this webinar is going to be conducted by Mr. Krishna Kumar. He is the CEO of Green Pepper. So stay tuned and we'll see you tomorrow. Now, in case you have any feedback, positive ones or negative ones, shoot at us, leave it at the YouTube channel. So this is just a poster of what we have for tomorrow and the coming week. So, we have sessions planned for you all the way till Saturday. So please stay tuned and do not forget to subscribe to us. And thank you so much for watching. Have a nice day.